guys, how are you? How is your autumn going? Is it treating you well? I wanted to say thank you very much that you are sticking with me, even though I don't upload as often anymore, but I will try to get better at it. So yeah, I really appreciate that. And today I wanted to tell you what was on my mind for the last couple of weeks. So this autumn I really started feeling kind of stuck, in the sense that I don't really get out that often and I don't really meet new people anymore, and I used to be really into that, but then for a while I just wanted to focus on myself and I just didn't want to see people that often. So there were maybe like 3 or 4 people that I would see on a regular basis, but I didn't have any new input. So I really kind of lost that energy and that kind of flow of meeting new people and going out. And I think that I also used YouTube and I tried to upload very often and just film videos very often as an excuse to stay home, because it's actually pretty time consuming. So I was feeling kind of empty in the sense that I don't have a lot of people in my life physically in the moment. So I have, like, as I said, 3-4 people that are always there, but I recently went to Russia and I met with the people that I am really good friends with still, and I realized that actually it matters a lot. Like, the people who surround you really matter. And so I kind of got really sad that I don't have that here, because there I have a really good support system and like a really good network of people who I love and who love me, and I really feel very inspired every time that I come back from there. So I was very sad that I didn't have it here, and I was feeling, as I said, empty and kind of disappointed in myself, and I started blaming everything and everyone except for me. So I was going around really grumpy and thinking, oh, these people that surround me are really boring and I don't like it here anymore and blah blah blah. And I was just spiraling down and down in the sense that I was becoming grumpier, and of course this doesn't really help to make friends, as you can imagine. And then on top of that, I kind of had this like quarter life crisis moment, because I turned 25 this summer and I was feeling that my life is in a weird place. I was like, where am I going? I don't have a family yet, I don't have kids yet. Not that I want kids like right now, but some of my friends already do have family and kids, and so I was like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? And this all created this kind of like desperate energy inside of me, and it took the best of me. And I actually should have known better, because I preach about it all the time, but there is nothing more difficult than walking your own talk and applying your own advice to your own life. So at one point I just sat down and I thought, okay, let's think about where I was 5 years ago. And I just wanted to tell you this. I don't know if it's interesting for anyone, but I really like listening to people's stories of how they turned their lives around. So I will just shortly tell you mine. 5 years ago, I was in my last year of university. I hated the place where I studied, to be honest. I made some really good friends there, don't get me wrong, but it was very difficult for me, both like mentally and psychologically, and it was a very challenging experience. And although I have already made myself comfortable there during the last year, because I created a system of people around me who I am still friends with and who I love dearly, but I was feeling very stressed because of the situation in my lab, because I didn't like my supervisor and she was stressing me out a lot, and I had to work on my master's degree and I didn't really know what I wanted to do next, and I really wanted to go and study in Germany. Also, I had problems with substances like smoking and drinking, and I really had a problem with that. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It was really a problem for me back then. I was pretty sad most of the time, and I was very insecure about myself and what I looked like. I wanted to put pictures of myself 5 years ago in here, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna find any, because I was so insecure about what I looked like and about just myself in general that I'm not sure I can find any. But well, yeah, let's see, maybe if I do, I will put them somewhere around here. So I was also just coming out of a 3-4 year role of an eating disorder. I was still having eating disorders back then, but it was already like getting better. I just realized that I have to change something, because it's just common sense that you cannot change anything in your life, or you cannot get out of a bad situation using the same mindset that you used to get into this stressful or bad situation that you're in right now. So the first thing that I did was I made a bet with one of my very good friends back then that we will not drink at all for a month. And back then it was kind of a problem for me. Like, really, I couldn't imagine myself not drinking for an entire month. It seemed pretty unimaginable at that point. But we made a bet, and I am really competitive in that sense, so I really didn't drink for a month, and it was one of the hardest things. And I was looking for a distraction, so this is how I actually discovered meditation. And at first it was just a torture. Now I understand that meditation can be difficult, especially if your mind is not in the right place, and this was really the case for me. So I was meditating and struggling through it, and it was really painful, and I hated it, and I hated being alone with my thoughts. And so yeah, I started doing that. Then I quit all my other bad habits in the same way. I just made a bet with a friend to like not do things, and it worked. So I got rid of like all of my bad habits in 2 months. And while I was doing that, I also was kind of digging more into psychology of it and how to help yourself without self-medicating with things. And I discovered a website that was all about like healthy living and meditation and the law of attraction, and this is how I discovered it for the first time. And I realized that your mindset matters a lot, and I started implementing that into my own life. Coincidentally, at the same time, I started going vegan, so I discovered veganism, and I was really excited about that, and it consumed the energy that I would rather waste on like getting drunk and distracting myself from real life. So I started actually investing this energy into something good for myself, and I started really taking care of my health and of my body. And I started really using the law of attraction because I really liked the idea that you can change your reality just using your mindset and using your brain. So I got myself a notebook. I don't have it anymore. And I was just writing every day. I was writing out my dream life. I was writing out my gratitude lists. I was imagining the best thing to happen. And then when I was like 22, 2 years later, I looked back and I read it, and actually everything that I wrote down came true. And it's just, like, it's crazy. Also, I had manifestation boards or vision boards, whatever you want to call them. And also it's like I still do them all the time because I just like to have something that I feel good looking at. They always hang above my dining table, so I can look at them and like get inspired when I'm eating and I have nothing to look at. But getting back to myself 5 years ago, so this was when my life changed so drastically, and because I changed my mindset so drastically, the changes started really flowing into my life. So my relationship with my supervisor got so much better. I got way less stressed. I meditated and did yoga all the time to like keep my stress levels at bay. Just several months later, I got a scholarship that I'm on right now. The competition was crazy, and I discovered the program like 4 days before the deadline of application submission. Later, I manifested several of the relationships that I had into my life in the same way, and I was using the law of attraction here and there, and it really worked. And when you see something working so quickly, it even inspires you to go more into it. So yeah, this is kind of shortly the story of how I helped myself a lot 5 years ago. But then in between that time and now, something happened and I forgot about it, or at least, I don't know, I don't really have anything that I'm really striving towards at the moment, because obviously I want to finish what I'm doing right now. I want to finish my PhD, but it's, for me, it's not something that there is a possibility of not happening. Like, I know that it will happen, you just need time and you just need to work all the time. But what I forgot to do is to really create a mindset of being happy and being fulfilled and being grateful for what you already have. Because when, as I told you in the beginning of this video, if you're still here, thank you. When you feel empty or needy, or you feel like you're lacking something, you really attract more emptiness and more neediness into your life. And no one wants to be around a needy person. Even if you're not like needy in your behavior, if you're needy in your energy, it's not something that attracts people. So people gravitate towards people who are self-sufficient and who are happy and who are ready to give away the energy. And if you want something to come into your life, you have to create a mindset of being full and being happy and having enough, and then you will get even more of it. And it's not really magic. Like, I really abandoned that on one hand because I was thinking, well, this is just like magical thinking, it's not really scientific. When you think about it, it actually doesn't, because our brains are really tricky. Our brains trick us all the time. It especially bothers me in the sense, like, when we see something, we don't really see with our eyes, we perceive with our mind. And we can see the same thing in so many different ways, and you can try some optical illusions for that. But really, first of all, we see whatever we focus on, and second of all, we really see whatever we are wired to see. So you can wire yourself, you can wire your brain into seeing the things that you want to see. And there is an exercise that really, like, just boggled me, and it was where you need to count all the green cars that you meet all the time. Like, you just need to count all the green cars on the streets that you see, and you would think there is not too many green cars around. And I used to do this exercise a lot a couple of years ago, because it just reminds you that whatever you focus on, you see more of. And actually, there are so many green cars on the streets, like, you would never think about it, because especially here in Germany, like, all the cars seem to be black or gray. But actually, there is like a lot of colorful things if you just really pay attention. And so what I'm trying to say is that if you create a mindset of being grateful, being happy, and having enough in your life, the things will start flowing and flowing. And so just a week ago, I sat and said to myself that it's time to change something, because I was creating this like unhealthy energy around myself and I didn't like it. And so I bought myself a little notebook, it's just like this, and I decided to just start writing 5 things that I'm grateful for every evening. And it's perfect for that because it's really small, and one page fits exactly 5 things that you're grateful for. And I was doing it for just a week, and let me tell you, this week I got more good news than I did in the past several months. And during this week that I just changed 2 things. First of all, I started writing this gratitude list every day before going to bed, and second of all, I started just saying affirmations to myself. So if I have a thought that is negative, for example, like I don't feel good today, or like my mood is not really that good, and I just say to myself something opposite, like I feel super happy. You just say to yourself things that you want to believe in, even if they're not your reality at the moment. And then you retrain your subconscious mind to have this program inside of it, and it really trains the neuron connections, and it helps you to recreate those situations in your life. And the thing is that it is really, like, it's not magic, it's really science, because even the MRIs and other examinations of people who do competitive sports, when they imagine running, for example, the same areas of the brain lights up that they use when they're actually running, and even their muscles contract when they really imagine it. So if you really imagine something, your brain will be wired to see these things, and it will like gravitate you towards those things, or those things towards you, and you will attract whatever it is that you want with just believing that you already have it. And it works like a charm every time, and I'm really surprised that I have forgotten that and I stopped using that. And so now I'm rereading one of the books about the law of attraction, and I think that anyone can benefit from that. Obviously, if you are like severely depressed and you have like a biological imbalance, I always say that yoga and meditation are good, but they cannot cure severe depression or like schizophrenia or something. So like if you have a really severe mental health problem, probably it's better to take care of that with a professional. But if there are just things in your life that you are not satisfied with yet, you can really try to apply that into your life, and I bet that it helps. So I hope that it was somewhat interesting, first of all, and second, that it motivated you a little bit to change your mindset and be more positive. Because you know what, it's like a win-win situation. Even if you want something and you do all these things and it doesn't come true, the worst thing that can happen is you will just have a little bit of a better mood, and that's it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and please let me know if you want me to tell you more about the law of attraction, maybe like a small series about the law of attraction. I could tell you more about what I did specifically to get the things that I got, or I could just talk about it in general. I know that there are millions of videos about it on YouTube, but I think just listening to personal experiences of people is really interesting. This is what kind of law of attraction videos that I prefer. And also let me know if you have used it, or if you believe in it, or if you believe in positive psychology or affirmations and anything like that. I really like, as I said, hearing stories from people. So if you have your own law of attraction story, please share it down below. And yeah, I hope to see you more often and more sooner. Thank you very much for watching, and be nice humans. Love you guys. Bye.